This guy pulls on a gas station with his truck. The owner tells him to pour himself some gas and he will be with him in a minute. The quiet guy just minds his own business when another truck pulls in the same gas station. One of the guys from that truck approaches the quiet guy and asks him if he can insert the pump in his own truck. The quiet guy checks on the board and replies that he is going to be done in just a minute. However, this bully insists and tells him that he needs the pump in his car right now. The bully has his friend stop the gas flow and squares up with the quiet guy. The guy in the cap tells him that he needs to rethink whatever he's thinking. Everyone else around the gas station minds their own business because they can see where this is going. The quiet guy starts the pump again, but the bully wants some trouble. The guy in the hat hits him with the pump and then punches him. The bully's friend attacks the quiet guy, but he gets his buttocks whooped. The bully attacks the quiet guy from behind like a rat, but he gets his arm twisted and is punched again. The bully's friend comes for one more round, but the quiet guy smashes a window with his head and then knocks him on the ground. The quiet guy asks the owner if he knows them, and the old man replies that he has never seen them before. Then, he asks the bully who put him to do this, and the bully replies that nobody did. A man is walking down the street with his daughter while enjoying their ice cream when a couple of bums bump into them and knock the ice cream off the girl's hands. The bald man asks them to watch where they are going, but these guys seem to be looking for trouble. The bald man asks them to also watch their language while the two guys ask him if he wants to start a fight. The bald man takes his daughter away and tells her that he is going to buy her another ice cream. The girl tells him that those guys owe her $4 for it, and he reassures her that he is going to get the money from them later. Then, the bald man buys his daughter another ice cream and asks her what she would like to get for her birthday. The girl wants a TV, but the bald man thinks that if he buys her a TV, the girl will never leave her room to see him.
I want a TV in my room.
As they approach his car, the bald man sees the thugs from earlier, on the corner of the street. The bald man puts his daughter in the car and tells her that he is going to buy a newspaper. He locks her inside the car and then starts walking toward the street thugs. As soon as they see the bald man, they try to intimidate him, but the man kicks one of them in the nuts. The thug falls on the ground screaming in pain while the other thug starts running for dear life. So much for pretending to be strong. This guy is enjoying his drink when a woman sits at his table. She smiles at him, but she looks more like a gold digger. The woman introduces herself as Sandy, and the guy tells her that he was also Sandy last week because he was at a beach. The girl asks him about his name, and the guy replies that his name is Jimmy. Sandy tells him that he does not look like a Jimmy, and the guy asks her what he looks like. The girl tries to make small talk, but she has no idea how to unlock this mysterious guy. She asks him if he is new in town, but Jimmy is reluctant to tell her. He jokes about her age, but the girl tells him that she is old enough to do a lot of things. Jimmy tells her that he can't afford her, but the girl says she is not an escort. Jimmy makes a joke with her, but the girl thinks he is still calling her an escort. The girl gets up enraged and a man approaches her to ask what happened. Sandy informs the man that Jimmy called her an escort and the guy turns on Jimmy. More guys gather around to tell Jimmy that he is messing with their sister. They want to take him outside to beat him up, but Jimmy asks them to pay their tab first. The guy says he is going to pay later, but Jimmy reassures him that he won't be able to. The guys are eager to beat him up, so they ask him if he wants to receive his beating inside or outside. Jimmy wants to take it outside and everybody starts walking. When Jimmy stands off with the leader of the pack, he gives him one more chance to back down. The guy reminds him that it's 5 against 1, but Jimmy clarifies that it is 3 against 1. He explains that once he takes out the leader, 2 enthusiastic wingmen will jump him, but the other 2 guys will run away. The leader attacks Jimmy, but he is hit with an elbow right into the face. Jimmy picks him up while saying that he is fine, but then kicks him in the nuts. The rest of the group is shocked, but they still attack Jimmy. However, Jimmy takes them out one by one. The 2 last guys remaining consider attacking him, but the police crash the party and they decide to run away along with Sandy. Jimmy compliments the policemen for their response time, but they order him to get on the ground before arresting him. This girl is infuriated when she steps foot in the school cafeteria. She approaches a guy and asks him if he thinks it's funny to spread lies about her. On the other hand, the guy pretends he has no idea what she's talking about. The guy and his mates make jokes about her, but the girl is mad, so she decides to knock their food off the table. The cafeteria goes quiet while the students are waiting for something interesting to happen. The girl's friend appears as well, but he quickly realizes that this is not the day he is going to enjoy a good meal. He asks the group of bullies to stop it and be more polite. The leader of the bullies shoves him away, not knowing that he is dealing with a karate master. The thin guy snaps the bully's hand and then teaches him a rough lesson in front of everybody, which ends with the bully on the floor. Then, the bully's friends get involved as well, but this student gives them a taste of Cobra Kai karate. taught to him by his peculiar master. The karate master plays with them like they are nothing and beats them up using anything he can find around. Eventually, all of the bullies are knocked out, and the show ends with the karate student on top of a table. The whole cafeteria cheers for him. But that will not stop the principal from taking him to her office. This big guy enters his cell for the first time. Contrary to the guy who follows behind him as his cellmate, the big guy is not intimidated. His name is Jack Reacher, and he has seen a fair share of fights in his life. Jack knows that there is not much he can do, so he just jumps on his bed to get some relaxing time. The guy with the glasses apologizes to Jack for dragging him into this mess, but the big guy asks him to stop talking. Even though they might know each other, there is no chance Jack considers this guy a friend. The next morning, Jack wakes up when he hears the cell gate opening. Glasses is already awake because he is too scared to take a nap. Jack walks outside the cell to take a look around, and then goes back inside with some disturbing news. He tells Glasses that they are in the ward with the lifers. In other words, they are with the guys that are serving a life sentence. Glasses is worried, so he walks right outside the cell to check. All he sees is a bunch of tough inmates staring back at him. In fact, a group of inmates notice him and they look like they want some trouble. Glasses walks back inside the cell very stressed, but Jack tells him to relax because he is going to need his reflexes later. As for himself, Jack jumps on his bed again to get some quality rest. He is one of the few men we know who can control their nerves in such a stressful environment. In a matter of seconds, 3 inmates walk into the cell and they start messing with Glasses. Their leader comments that this man has nice shoes, which can be used as currency inside the prison. The group leader asks him to give him the shoes, but Glasses just stands there, unable to move. The gangster asks him again for his shoes, and this time, the new fish complies. Then, the gangster wants him to hand him the glasses, so the new fish complies again. Now that he doesn't have his glasses on, does that mean that we have to stop calling him Glasses? The gangster throws the glasses on the floor and spits on them. Then, he steps on them with his shoes to destroy them. Now, the gangster wants one more favor from the new fish and he starts unbuttoning his pants. It appears that the rumors about prison are true. Jack thinks this is enough and he jumps out of his bed. The gangster starts laughing when he sees Jack, acting tough in front of his friends. Jack tells him that he came into his house uninvited, so he needs to leave now. If he fails to do that, then his friends are going to carry him in a bucket. Jack warns him that he is going to count till 3 and starts counting. Once he finishes with number 2, he punches the gangster and then delivers a couple of elbows, knocking him out. One of the gangster's mates is wearing sunglasses, and Jack tells him that they owe them a pair of glasses. The man gives his glasses to Jack and then carries the gangster out of the cell with his friends. Jack walks out of his cell and onto the yard like a boss. His cellmate follows him around because he is afraid for his life. Jack jokes with him and tells him to stop sitting on his lap. The new fish is terrified, but Jack gives him his word that he is not going to let anyone touch him.
Thank you.
The new fish starts talking and he reveals that he was involved in a financial scheme. That's how he ended up in this prison. He thinks this is an environment he does not belong to. Furthermore, he explains that he was forced by some powerful people to help them with their scheme. They threatened him that if he reveals anything about them or their business, they are going to kill him. This young student is just minding his own business, looking at his book in his locker, when 2 other students walk behind him and bump into him.
Number 17.
These 2 students walk away while laughing, thinking that they just did something funny. The good student ignores this incident because he wants to focus on his next class. When the kid goes to his class, the 2 bullies make fun of him, saying that he looks like a substitute teacher who is selling encyclopedias. As the rest of the students settle down, this good student approaches the blackboard and starts writing his name on it. As it appears, he is not a student. He writes his name, Mr. Abagnale, on the board and explains to the class how to pronounce his name correctly. The students are surprised by the fact that this guy is a teacher because he looks too young. Mr. Abagnale asks them where they left off in their textbooks, but the students seem a bit rusty and uninterested in their studies. Mr. Abagnale asks them to take their seats or else he will have to punish them. Then, Mr. Abagnale asks one of the bullies for his name. When he learns that his name is Brad, he asks the bully to get in front of the class and read dialogue number 5. The bully tries to read, but the whole class bursts into laughs when they hear him having trouble pronouncing the words. While he is reading, an old lady comes into the class and interrupts them. She claims that the school called her to come in as a substitute teacher. Mr. Abagnale says that he is the substitute teacher for this class and orders the bully to keep reading. The old lady is angry about this mix-up and leaves while saying that she will never agree to work for this school again. 1 week later, the principal calls the real Mr. and Mrs. Abagnale at school for a talk.
Mr. and Mrs. Abagnale,
These two are the parents of the young student who has pretending to be a teacher for over a week because the main teacher has been sick. He gave the students homework and he was planning to take them on a field trip. He even held a parent-teacher conference a couple of days ago. In the meantime, the young student has been waiting right outside the office. A female student comes to see the school secretary with a note from her mom to miss 2 classes because she has an appointment with the doctor. The secretary starts preparing the paperwork to excuse the young lady, while the young student who has been pretending to be a teacher tells the female student to fold the paper because he knows it is a fake. The female student claims the paper is legit, but the young student tells her that there is no crease on it. Eventually, the female student plays along and she folds the paper. Soon, the young boy's parents come out of the principal's office to take him home. The mother is angry and walks away first while the father walks side by side with his son. The two of them exchange a glance and they smile at one another. The father recognizes that his son is a genius. These 2 young students walk into the cafeteria to enjoy their meal. The one on the left remarks that the 2 of them are related somehow, so they need to keep an eye on one another. The other guy comments that he should help him out before they flush him in the toilet the next time. When they sit down, the thin guy stares at a girl and his mate asks him if he likes her. The thin student admits that he likes her, but this girl is the head cheerleader, and she would never go out with him. His mate starts saying something about the time he met the thin guy's mother, which surprises his friend. This mate is not a playboy exactly, but there is something weirder going on with him. He used to be an adult, but he magically reverted back to being a teenager. Now he has joined the school to look after his son, the thin guy. Soon, the thin guy sees the bully and his group entering the cafeteria, and adds that he also put him into the washing machine in his house yesterday. The mate wants to know what was the bully doing in the thin guy's house, so the latter explains that this bully is his sister's boyfriend.
Wow.
The mate is disgusted and remarks that he is disappointed at his sister. The mate stares at the bully and that makes him angry. The bully walks over to their table and hits the thin student on his head with the ball. The mate stands up and asks the bully to stop talking to the thin student that way. The bully wonders what is he going to do. The mate walks around and states that the first thing he is going to do is to call his father. The bully tries to throw the ball in his face, but the mate grabs it with just one hand. The mate starts performing complex tricks with the basketball while he outlines he is sorry for the bully. While the bully is the basketball team's captain and dates the pretty girls, there is a huge problem with him. According to psychology, he is a bully due to one of 3 reasons. 1. There is a little girl craving to be free deep inside of him behind the mask of the macho man he likes to wear. 2. His brain is underdeveloped, so he has trouble controlling himself. And 3. He might have a small wiener. The whole cafeteria starts laughing when they hear this speech. The mate starts dribbling the ball on the cafeteria floor as he approaches the bully. He pretends to throw the ball on the bully's face and scares him. Then, he gives him the ball and tells him to be careful because he might hurt himself. This boy comes to the classroom only to find the rest of the students booing him. One of the other students spends some time counting his coloring pencils. He clearly has an issue with it because he is very serious about it. A bully approaches him and knocks all of his pencils off his desk. Then, he picks a pencil up and pretends he is going to give it to him. However, he breaks the pencil in half and makes fun of the boy. The new guy stops him and introduces himself as Jason. He remarks that this guy must be the bully of the class and asks him how dumb he is. The bully tries to punch him, but he can't even land a hit. Then, Jason slaps him across his face to show everyone that this guy is nothing but a rat with low self-esteem. Jason tells the bully that he is going to be here for the rest of the year, so he is stuck with him. He warns the bully not to sit anywhere near him or the boy with the pencils, and they are going to be okay. Jason walks away like a boss, also earning himself the attention of the ladies.